whispers, where every breeze carries a story from the heart of Sri Lanka. Today our journey is extended to Polonnaruwa, a timeless city where Sri Lankan history still whispers through stones. Polonnaruwa is well known as the second capital of Sri Lanka. Polonnaruwa is well connected by roads and lies at the heart of Sri Lanka's cultural triangle. Colombo, the journey takes around 5 to 6 hours via Kurunegala and Dambulla using well-maintained main roads. From Kandy, travellers usually pass through Matale and Dambulla, making Polonnaruwa an easy day trip or overnight stop. Those coming from Anuradhapura can reach Polonnaruwa in about 2 hours, travelling through scenic rural landscapes. Public buses, private vehicles and guided tours operate daily, and the compact layout of the ancient city makes it easy to explore by bicycle, tuk-tuk or car once inside the heritage zone. Standing in quiet solitude is one of Polonnaruwa's most fascinating creations, the unidentified stone statue near Podgul Vihara. Carved from a solid rock and faces the vast Parakrama Samudra. The figure holds an object close to the chest, widely believed to be a palm leaf manuscript, while others believe that the object is an instrument used in agriculture called Viyagaha. This detail has led many to identify the statue as King Parakramabahu the Great, portrayed not as a warrior but as a learned ruler. However, no inscription confirms this identity. Others suggest the statue may represent a sage, a high-ranked monk, or a guardian figure, making it one of the most debated sculptures in Sri Lankan archaeology. Its calm expression, upright posture, and monumental scale added to its enduring mystery. Just close to the statue lies Podgul Vihara, a monastic complex believed to date back to the region of King Parakramabahu the Great. The name Podgul means library house, and the structure reflects this purpose. The main building is a circular, two-storied construction with thick brick walls designed to preserve sacred texts. Its unique architectural form is rare in Sri Lanka and suggests that it is once functioned as the center for learning, discussion, and safeguarding of knowledge. Surrounding the main structure are the remains of monastic buildings, including residential cells for monks, meditation spaces, and image houses, indicating that this was an active religious and educational complex rather than a single isolated shrine. Together, the architecture of Podgul Viharaya and the silent presence of the statue reflects Polonnaruwa's emphasis on wisdom, learning, and enlightened leadership. Stretching beyond the city is the majestic Parakrama Samudra, an ancient reservoir built by King Parakramabahu with the vision that not a single drop of rainwater should flow to the sea without serving humanity. It stretches over 5,350 acres. The dam stretches over 8 miles and the depth of the reservoir is around 25 feet. This is a complex of 5 reservoirs and the main water source to Parakrama Samudra is the Yoda Ala, which itself is fascinating with a slant of 1 inch per mile. Entering the Polonnaruwa Heritage Site, visitors access the ruins through the main vehicle entrance, where tickets are issued before exploring the royal city. Standing in quiet majesty are the remains of the 7-storied palace of King Parakramabahu the Great. Though enemy invasions and time have reduced it to ruins, you can still see the grand staircase, ancient toilets, chambers used by guard soldiers, and traces of wall plaster that hint at its former splendor. To better understand the layout and other historic details about the King Parakramabahu the Great's royal palace, let's listen to the explanation by our tourist guide, Mr. Ruchira Hapwarachi.
This is the palace of King Parakramabahu the Great. This was 872 years old palace, and it was a 7-story building and 1,000 chambers inside. Ladies and gentlemen, this was known as the palace of the King of God because it was a luxurious palace. We haven't heard about any palace that in Sri Lanka like this. You can see over there some holes, big holes for wooden beams. These wooden beams have separated the stories, 7 stories. And walls are 2 meters wide because to keep the ventilation and the uh, inside, cool atmosphere inside.
Nearby lies the council chamber where royal ministers once gathered. Its stone pillars and lion carvings reflects the authority of the king. The council chamber was the center of administration in ancient Polonnaruwa. Here, our tourist guide, Mr. Ruchika Hapuarachi, explain its purpose and significance.
This is the council chamber of King Parakramabahu the Great. This was 872 years old, and this was built as put in 3 layers. You can see 3 layers over here, and the lower layer we can see some of the stone carvings of moving elephant, and in the middle layer there are elephant figures, and the upper layer we shall see a mythical being called small dogs, we call the marmots. So in elephant, it representing the glory of Sri Lanka, and then from the lion figure we can in lion figure it represents the prestige of Sri Lanka, and then the mythical being tells about a punishment that gives for the sin. So this is the place where all the decision has made in in the 12th century AD. That was 1153 to 1186. So earlier in the history, it had a wooden roof and tiled wooden roof and tiled on the top. You can see the stone pillars. In between stone pillars, there were administrative person have seated. In front is the place where the king's throne was held.
As we continue, we briefly pass the Shiva Devalaya, a reminder of South Indian influence, quietly standing by the roadside. The Sacred Heart of Polonnaruwa unfolds at Dalanda Maluwa, once home to the Tooth Relic. Surrounding it are the architectural masterpieces Atadagaya, Hatadagaya, and the circular and iconic Watadagaya. The unique Satmahal Prasadaya, a 7-storied structure believed to reflect the Southeast Asian influence. Dalanda Maluva represents the sacred heart of Polonnaruwa. To explore its religious importance and surrounding monuments, now we turn to our tourist guide, Mr. Ruchika Hapuarachi.
Now you can see different types of structure. This is called Nishankalata Mandapa. It was a chanting house, chanting stage, actually a chanting stage. This in the middle, there's a stage. On the top, there's a stupa. And you can see decorative stone pillars that representing the blooming lotus flowers. According to the archaeological evidence, this was used by King Buddhist monks at that time. They were sitting around and chanting Buddhist scriptures to here by King Nishankamalla the Great. So this was King Nishankamalla the
Together, these monuments tell the story of devotion, power, and refined craftsmanship.
Now we are in the quadrangle, which is the temple complex for the sacred fruit relic. Now you can see there are different type of relic house that built by different kings. First of all, this is Atadage. We are called Atadage. First relic house in the Polonnaruwa kingdom. Then you can see the Vatadare, circular relic house. That was built by King Parakrama Bahudara. And then the third one is the Katadage, which according to the legendary stories, it says it was built within 60 hours or 60 days. So that was another relic house built by another king called King Nishankamalla the Great. So the Atadage is built by King Vijayabahu the first, who was the first Sri Lankan king in the kingdom. This was two-story building. Upper story is the place where the relic was stored, and the ground floor is the place dedicated to devotees to their rituals. And then the Vatadage. Vatadage is circular relic house built by King Parakrama Bahudara. That is 872 years old. And inside there are stupa. Around the stupa there are 4 Buddha statues in the 4 cardinal direction. And there are 2 layers, upper layer and lower layer. In the lower layer there is one entrance, that is like a northern, only a one entrance from the northern side. Then for the upper layer there are 4 entrance from the 4 cardinal directions. So this is one of the artistic building in the kingdom. You can see decorated stone carvings, including animal figures, lion figures, and also some flower decorations. And also you can see a beautiful moonstone at the inside the relic house. And also all the traditional entrance are very clear. We can see very well preserved traditional entrance inside. And over there, and this is Tuparama image house, which is a vaulted roof building that was also known as Pobal designs. And this was an image house for Buddha statues. The original Buddha statue was missing, but there are 8 Buddha statues that brought from other areas of the kingdom. And this was also 900 years old. And according to the archaeological records, this was built by one of the ministers of King Parakramabahu the Great, called Minister Mahinda. And also there's another opinion that this was built by King Vijayabahu the Great. So those 2 opinions can be taken well.
We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our tourist guide, Mr. Ruchika Hapuarachi, for sharing his knowledge and guiding us through the wonders of Polonnaruwa. Your insights into the royal palace, the council chamber, and Dalda Maluwa have truly brought these ancient spaces to life. We are grateful for your time, patience, and passion for preserving and sharing the history and heritage of this remarkable city. Thank you for helping us connect with the stories, traditions, and legacy of Polonnaruwa in such a meaningful way. The historical sites of Polonnaruwa will stretch into another video. Please make sure you watch the part 2 of this video series.